Do you think that other countries will ever trust the U.S. again?
I do. At least I hope they do. I think that at the end of the day, right, was it, I don't know if Churchill actually ever said this, but right, Americans always do the right thing after trying everything else. So I don't think we've exhausted all of it, but we're pretty darn close to having to execute all the bad choices. How do we go back to the international community and reassure those old alliances that we have infected? And I think it is going to require a lot of work. And again, it goes back to the conversation around ethics reform and showing the fact that, hey, why was this administration able to cause so much harm to these alliances? And that comes back to, right, we've got to strengthen the guardrails on the executive branch. That is power that is, it's not just this administration. It cannot
be the honor system. We can no longer go on the honor system. And this is why people were so pissed off at Democrats, because anybody that remembers the 2018 midterm campaign and the 2020 campaign, that was one of the biggest things that they ran on, was the fact that we can't have a president that's going on the honor system anymore. We have to put up the guardrails, the checks and balances, and then didn't do anything once they got back in there, right? It was infuriating.
Yeah, sounds good on paper.
And that's right. And other countries are looking for us to have that level of leadership to come back and say, how are you going to prevent this from happening again? Because it's not just something that this administration has abused, but many other administrations have done the same thing. Right? Go back to the Bush administration, the way that we engaged NATO and sucked them into this foreign war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Of course, I was part of that. I think allies go back and say, well, wait a second, you can't say we didn't contribute to collective defense. Like, we were there alongside you. I worked for a British commander for a short period of time because we're out there doing it.
Right.
And I think it is on us. And so it's how do we get back to that point? You've got to get competent people that understand how these alliances actually operate, right? We put a television host in charge of the Secretary of Defense, which is a real far drop from what we had in Lloyd Austin. Someone that was tremendous. I've worked for him personally, and he was just someone that was a tremendous leader that understood how to leverage alliances and be able to make that work. And so that's, it's not just about the people that we elect, but it's the people that those people that we elect are going to surround themselves with, and how those people are going to be able to influence policy. And again, it goes back to strengthening our diplomatic corps, as well as making sure that we're going to those career diplomats that have been and spent time in these countries, that are experts in all aspects of that history and culture, and be able to translate that both in how our values as Americans align with what they're doing, and how we're going to be able to support them collectively.